So when you're looking at what is the admissions process to get your son into Capstone, the first phase of it is assessment. Once a parent has gone through the online assessment, the warning signs checklist, and they've come to the point that, okay, we want to find out more about what Capstone's like, they need to go to the website and they need to look at all the videos that are the answers to the peak questions we've learned from parents over the last 10 years. What is Christ-centered? What is professional excellence? What's canine therapy, exercise therapy? How does Capstone treat, sexual issues? What's addiction, etc.? And they start to vet us, meaning find out what we're promoting that we say. One of the cool things is they can do that 24/7. Get on there, do the assessment, read about us, listen, to our videos, and then they will automatically, once they submit those assessments, get a parent reference list sent back to them. And so, whenever the time zone it matches up, and that's going to be listed on the parent reference list, they can call people that have sat in the same chair that they're sitting in currently. People that have wondered what's going on with my son, that have had to put the puzzle pieces together, reached a crisis point, made a decision, gone to treatment, graduated, and now they're out for some period of time. And we have some that have been out for 9 years and others that have been out for a couple years. And ask them, okay, are these guys who they say they are? What was this process like for you? And our parents that are on those lists, and by the way, once they've called all the parents on the first list, if they want another one, and then another one and another one, we'll keep sending them lists till they've talked to dozens of parents. Our parents are really glad to do that for people because it's kind of a part of their giving back, to help out with parents who are in the struggle that they were once in. So once a parent has called parent references, read everything on our website, looked at all our videos, called and talked to one of our admissions team, and they look at the situation and say, Capstone's not a fit for us. We have needs that are different than what you guys provide for. We don't stop our part with them at that point. We have connections with a lot of different programs around the country that are very good programs. They're different than us. And we will help parents with a reference list and, talk, to them about other programs to try to help them find the best fit for their son. Once a parent decides, Capstone's the fit for us and they are ready to go, one of the first things they would do is they would submit to us their insurance information so that we could start the process of getting in contact with their insurance company if they have insurance and find out, does that company pay benefits? Because as most people know, dealing with insurance companies, it's not just a blanket coverage of any kind of mental health care. So there's the process to go through with that, and then they would go over the payment protocol and how all that works would be the next step in scheduling an admission. We do admissions 365 days a year. The best day of the week to admit's Monday because the kid gets there on Monday and they've got the rest of the week of regular programming before the weekend. And the weekend is also very structured, but it's not a chop, go for therapy session to work out to this, to that. It's a work day on Saturday and a day on Sunday that has Bible study and groups and family visitation and different things. So Monday's the best day. But we've admitted people on Saturday and Sunday because they were in a dire situation and that's when we had to admit them. So scheduling the admission, taking care of all the paperwork, that's what begins after the point of the parents deciding we want this to happen at Capstone. So once a parent or parents have made a decision on Capstone and scheduled their admission day, a lot of people want to know, what does admission look like? Well, we really like for, if there are two parents, whether they're married or divorced, we like for them all to come to admission because we've heard so many, honestly, hundreds of times of how good a parent sleeps once they've been to Capstone. When they come for the admission process, we want them to meet us, to meet most of our team. People are in pretty tight schedules moving here and there, but there's a lot of, change at the hour and get to see these people that their names are on the website, but I wonder what they're like in person. We also want them to tour the facility. Everybody wants to see the mess hall. We have a cook that was a submarine cook for 20 years, and we eat hamburgers off a homemade bun. So it's fun for them to go in and see what good food that our guys have. To be able to go to the cabins and see where they sleep, to see that they're going to be safe, that they're going to be supervised 24/7. To our ropes course, to our puppy kennels, to all the different places, to our weight room, which is very impressive. That helps them to take it out of a picture on a website and put it into their mind that I have stood there in that room. They'll also have their first phone session scheduled for the next week, because every week they have a phone session with the therapist that's working with their family and their son. They'll also get an email 24 hours after admission to kind of let them know this is how your son's doing. We want them to see our puppies. Their son will pick his first and second choice of, it's a Labrador Retriever puppy, but they will get a chocolate or a yellow or a black puppy, and then a male or female. And then we usually ask them to give us two choices in case we happen to have a weird kind of situation where there's no chocolate males anywhere in the world to be found. So we want to get that puppy to them pretty quickly. They will have quite a bit of paperwork, to fill out. That can be done before admission because it's on the website and they can download it and make the admission process go faster, which we actually prefer because that then gives us more time to actually talk with them about the therapy situation instead of, filling out different forms. When parents can come to the admission like that, which, 99% of them do, they also get to look at the schedule of when is their family week going to be, when is their graduation scheduled, because all that's on a rotating system where they can pretty well know that. The average stay at Capstone is somewhere between like 93 days and 105 days, depending on where in a month that you admit. So they can have a predictability to what's coming in their therapy or in their treatment process. And I would really coach parents strongly that if they have a situation with their son and they come to that crisis situation and they make that decision, he's got to get in treatment, to not delay on that. Once in a while we are booked with a waiting list, but we try to always keep some beds open so that if a family is in that situation, they can do it post-haste. One of the things that I always am concerned about in the delay, like if you're a son and the parents say, okay, this is it, you're going to therapy or going to treatment, and we're going to do it on Monday, and it's a Thursday, then my biggest concern is what I call the last hurrah phenomenon. That they're saying, well, I'm going to be in a daggum treatment center for 3 months plus, and I'm not going to get to smoke cigarettes or see Sally Jane or, get high. So they go out to do something kind of as a celebratory thing, and a lot of times making promises to themselves even that this is the last time I'm going to do it. Other times it's like, I'm going to have to be clean for this long, and then I'll come back and start up where I left off. That's when you get the last hurrah phenomenon, and they mix drugs or do something they've not done before or end up creating legal trouble that really adds to the problem that they're facing. So once you get to the point that, okay, we're going to green light this deal, then I would coach parents to go post-haste. Let's schedule it. Let's get in the car and let's go. We've had boys before that ended up coming to Capstone from an emergency room experience where they had to be, brought back, that their heart stopped, etc. So it's not a situation that is true for every single parent. I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with drugs, you're dealing with life and death situation. But parents that know their son is in that kind of situation need to be very cautious with any delay between decision point and admission date. We also want them to see our other residents, because when you're thinking drug treatment center, druggies, punks, thugs, etc., you can create something that's really not there. Our guys, are really good guys. I mean, we've had, nothing that I, as an old football coach, would ever even call a real fight at Capstone in over a decade of being in existence. We used to have that every week on the football team, somebody get upset with each other. We've had a couple punches thrown and some anger moments, but it's like our staff is so good at calmness that when a boy comes up and is angry about something, we know on the other side of that anger is some hurt or some inadequacy, and we're very good at being able to de-escalate that and get to talk to him and go through. So it's a very safe place. Well, I could say that and be a lying salesman. But if a parent's there and they're watching our boys walk around and shoot basketball and go to the mess hall, etc., they're going to get that feeling this really is a safe place. And these kids are really just like my kids. They're just big-hearted and hard-headed and having some struggle. We also want them to know that they can call and check on their son anytime, that they're going to get an email 24 hours after admission just to say, hey, we want you to know this is how he's doing. Because we are a program that partners with parents in this battle. That we're not the program that says, get the parents out of the picture and let's just work on the boy. Because the research, is very clear that when you're working with young adults and teenagers, you need family involvement for the best success as far as outcomes are concerned.